Okay, guys. So we're on numbers 19 through 22 here. And you'll notice that I didn't make a video for 18. And that's because that just states the rules for how a graph changes as we change different parts of the function. I like doing 19 through 22 here for you guys on the video because we really have to use those rules now to figure something out about a graph. So as we look at these, there's a couple of really important things, and we'll see that when I look at my graphs, I've got one, two that are increasing or getting bigger as time goes along, and then I've got two that are decreasing or getting smaller as time goes along. And so that's going to be a really important part of picking out which function goes with which graph. Now I also remember that I've got y-intercepts for each of these, and that's really going to help me be able to identify which one. So let's zoom in on A first. Now A is decreasing, so right away I'm going to go ahead and label A as decay. Okay, and then I also look and I see that my y-intercept lands right here. Now that's halfway between 2 and 4. So that means my y-intercept is going to be at 0, comma 3. Now, I look over here to the left and I look at 19 through 22. And if I've got decay, that means I know that my B value or my rate has to be smaller than 1. So right away I know that 19 and 20 are out of the running. Okay, so I'm going to say 19 and 20, those are out of the running. A is not 19 or 20. Now I look down here at 21 and 22. They both got the same um, decay rate. So the thing that differentiates the two is this 3, okay? And that 3, as long as there's not a C, is going to tell me what my y-intercept is. And so I see now it's all starting to make sense that if I've got decay and I've got 0, 0, 3 for my y-intercept, then clearly A must go right here. Okay, whoops. Let's uh, let's zoom in on B now. Now B, if it'll let me zoom, there we go. Okay, B is not decay. B now is growth. Okay, and I see that my y-intercept for B is halfway between 0 and 2, which means it's 0, 1. So I look over here. Now I remember that that 19 and 20 are my two growths. Um, but the issue that I see here is that I'm going to end up with two different functions where the y-intercept should be 1. So if I look at C, C is also going to be growth, and it's also going to have a y-intercept of 0, 1. So I need to figure out how do I tell the difference between B and C when it comes to looking at their function. And so the big difference is if we zoom in here, we can see that the big difference is this value right here, this 2 versus 4, the growth rate. Now remember our rule says that as the growth rate increases, the steepness also increases for growth functions. And so when I look at B and C, I want to figure out which one is steeper. And it looks pretty obvious to me that C is the steeper of the graphs. So I think about C is steeper, which one is bigger for the growth rate. So 4 is my larger growth rate, so that must be C, and this one must be B. Okay, good. Now, process of elimination says that I must have D for 21, but let's just make sure that that makes sense. So I look here and I know that my decay rate, or the slope is going down, so it must be exponential decay. And then my y-intercept must be 0, 1. So does that make sense? I look over here and I see, yep, that's a decay rate because B right here, this 1/2, that's less than 1. And also, I don't have an A value, so my y-intercept must be 0, 1. So good. That's my answers then. B, C, D, A.